G'day, my name's Richard, just recording my progress in this game for the last year, 365 days, as you might see if you pause and look at my record book as we fly through it at a million miles an hour. Anyway, I played this game a lot, like 12 hours a day probably, and I realise that there are lots of experts out there who probably would smash through this and have far better progress than me, even though I play it so much. But I just thought it would be nice for anybody else who's out there who perhaps has just started the game to see what you can achieve if you're just a regular kind of person, admittedly one with a fair bit of time on their hands. So here we are progressing through. Well, it looks like we're in Kairos Dungeon at the moment. This is the Giants. Just showing you my team for Giants. Double Lucian, which is pretty pleasing. Louise has been one of my main healer for the whole game pretty much. I got her fairly early on. And I find her pretty good, especially once she's skilled up. I mean, until she's fully skilled up, she's pretty rubbish. But after that, she's fine, really fine. And getting better, they keep buffing her, which is good. Just looking at the Lucians here, they're both pretty similar. They're not super fat. They do a good job as a pair. One on his own just not good enough for anything. Oh, look at that, I'm in a guild, which obviously is a good thing. Dragons team. Obviously a lot of water monsters there. Louise again. Necro, alright, it's all twins. So I'm pretty happy to have all the twins. And the fire ones do all the crowd control, so that's pretty awesome. And the water ones just finish off the monster. So it happened to be that the day I recorded this was Wind Dungeon Day, so I'm just going to run you through my team on the Wind Dungeon when we get to it. Just because I was pretty pleased with how well this team works. I mean, I'm doing alright on the elemental side of things, doing the various dungeons there, but I figured out once I got Elsharion how to get a decent time in this dungeon. And you can see here's my twins again, doing all the work, stopping the shards and the golems from doing anything. Well, pretty much anything. They don't do a lot of damage anyway, so that's not so bad. Finally realised that Colleen needs to be 6-starred to make her really good. Just because that makes her super fat, she's really tanky now. I think mine's got like 20 odd thousand HP. And the buff to the attack every couple of turns is really good. And then this, you'll see here the dirty trick that Elsharion pulls is once the towers give the Wind Guardian the immunity, just goes and takes it off him. So then I can't be damaged, and we can just hack this guy down in no time. I mean, I think we look at like 40 seconds or something like that. Well, not that time, but I'm probably better now than I was when I recorded this. So the narration I'm doing about 2 months after I recorded the video, using the tool that ComToUs give us, of course. So you can, as you can probably work out from the little icon sitting there, I didn't realise at the time that it was going to record on the screen. If I'd known that, I would have used it as a pointer. But here we are, just looking at a few of my monsters in my monster box. These, you can see my all the ones I've 6-starred so far. Right, at this time there's what, around 25 or so, nearly 30 6-stars. And the twins, of course, Poseidon I got from one of those blessing scrolls where I had a choice between him and I think it was actually one of the Monkey Kings. But since I'd just been smashed in the TOA by Poseidon, I chose him, and he's actually been really good. Really good. I've been quite happy with him. And he's got a good rune set on him. I mean, about half of those runes came from the Erigar challenge when that came through. was dwelling on his runes a bit much. I might cut this, I don't know. This is reasonably fat. Sigmaris, another unit. I fused this one. I'm really happy once I'd done that. I think that was the second monster I fused after Veramos. And yeah, I use him all the time as well. Now I built this this homunculus, and he goes in my team in the Fire Rift, of course. Some second awakened monster. Leica, another early pick. He, whatever, the Dragon Knight, he's just been buffed again on the day I'm recording this, which is about 2 months after I did the video, and Comtos have just given him a bit more sustain, so he's pretty good. I mean, at the time that I did this, he didn't have great crit damage. I've fiddled around with him since to give him more crit damage, slightly less crit rate, but when he's got elemental advantage, he just kills things, so I'm pretty happy with that. I've fused this bear, but I haven't really done much with him since. I think I'll have to fuse the more bears just to get the skill ups on him. Yeah, Lucian. Yep, Louise. There you go, huge fat Louise. I'm really happy with her. Pungbake, I used him for quite a while. He's really good, but he's a bit squishy. So it's quite a lot of fun to destroy people in the arena with him. But if their team's faster, then it's all for nothing. Yeah. Yeah, Skogul. He's good because he's a 4-star, so in the guild wars you can stick him in the 4-star team, and he does well. Charlotte, really strong unit. Bella, I didn't build Bella for a while. I just didn't want to go down the route everyone else was going down, but obviously eventually you have to succumb. El Sharion, pretty happy with that unit when I got it with the ancient coins. Jean, yeah, really good once fully skilled up. Not much good until then, but once you get the provoking with only a 1-term gap, that's ridiculous. Zaros is a new one for me. I think at this time I'm still building up his skills, and now we're just scrolling through all the other stuff in the box. Plenty of good 4-stars. And a second Louise. I've actually pulled 3 Louises, believe it or not. I used one as fodder for Jean to get her up to 6 stars and give her a skill up at the same time. Praha, I was happy to get. I still haven't 6-starred her, but I do find that her first skill is pretty underwhelming. I mean, obviously the other 2 are quite strong, but having a unit that doesn't do anything half the time is pretty frustrating. Happy with Briand, use him in the TOA sometimes. Mav, of course, another TOA unit for speeding up your runs. He's only 5-star. He's not quite tanky enough for TOA hard. So in the later stages, I drop him and I just plod along slowly, doing half the levels manually to get up to the top. And you can see all my little monsters running around there. I just wanted to go into the store to show what's in my storage. A bunch of Ifrits, because I'm going to use them when I have 5 of them to level up and skill up one of my other units to Sarion, I think. And then you can see I've been collecting 4 stars. I'm working hard on getting more 6 stars, so I've got plenty of junk units building up. And my plan these days is to just collect enough 4 stars to then skill up and at the same time promote to 5-star one of the same type of units. And then you see all my fodder down the bottom here. Lots of stuff for when I get around to doing a bit more Second Awakening. And some Angel Mons, which are, they're junk, but they do speed up your progression a little bit. Now I just wanted to flick through my collection. So I got all the 3-star elemental, for all the 3 elements. I went and bought the Cowgirls just so I had a bit of completism there. Not much in the 5-star world, of course, not surprisingly. And a couple of omissions that monsters I'd like to get. Wind Kobold would be one I wouldn't mind. It looks interesting. Probably would never get around to building him. And then in my light darks, I think I've only pulled 1 4-star out of the dark, and any decent 4 and 5-star units either came from the Hall of Heroes or I built them out of Fusion. So they're Guillaume, I think he is, the 1 4-star I got. There's Erigar, another one of the units that you just got as a reward. Veramos. Built him. I built him, I was happy with him, and then he doesn't get any use at the moment. He needs to be fully skilled up, I think, and then he might be worth using some more. So I did record this video for another reason as well, just to talk about 6-starring. So we're just flicking through my pieces of monsters here. So I finally realised that it's worth buying all the pieces. See the Nine-Tailed Fox there, or Kung Fu Girl, whatever she is. I did all those dungeons early on where you get the pieces, and then I realised that they're not really good value. So now I'm just buying pieces of 4 stars from the guild shop. Seems like a pretty good strategy for getting where you need to go. Takes a little while, but I mean, once you've been playing a game for a year and you realise you're going to be playing it for another 4 or 5 years, well, what does it matter? This is my Angel store where I've got nothing. I don't use it. I build it and then I realise that it's just a pain to go to one more place to get all of your units. I just store them in the store. And that's it. So thanks for watching. Cheers.